everyone, it's Jen from Creative Housewives, and today I am here to teach you how to use adhesive foil. I got a lot of adhesive foil recently in some different mystery boxes that I received, and I had a lot of questions about how to use it, when you would use it, what type of projects you would use it on. So today we're going to test out adhesive foil matte and regular adhesive foil that's more of a glossy finish, like this really shiny gold. We're going to test out both of those. I have a jar that I'm going to be putting them on. I have a lint roller. That's what I'm going to be using to clean off the jar. You can also use an alcohol prep pad or just some rubbing alcohol on a lint-free cloth. If you do use rubbing alcohol and not a lint roller, make sure you allow for the rubbing alcohol to dry completely before trying to apply any adhesive foil. I'm also using StrongGrip transfer tape. We're going to test out StandardGrip also and see how it works, but I'm pretty sure once upon a time I heard that you're supposed to use StrongGrip transfer tape with adhesive foil. So I have that. I have a scraper tool. We're going to need that. And I think that's everything. Oh, you'll need a Cricut machine. Today I am using my Explorer 3 machine, which is one of the reasons that I'm going to do a test cut for both of these materials, because I've never cut adhesive foil with my Explorer 3. I always recommend a test cut when you're testing or when you're cutting a new material or a material on a new machine. So we're going to do that. It just uses the fine point blade. So adhesive foil you can cut with any Cricut machine, from the Joy all the way up to the Maker 3 and everything in between. And then I'm using a green StrongGrip mat. Actually I have one right here. So the green StrongGrip mat is the mat that I will be using to make this project. So let's jump right into Design Space. I'll show you where you can find this image and we will get making. Okay, I'm here in Design Space and I have added 2 images here to my canvas. One of them I just am doing this little jar. So I just searched fund, and it brought up just a few different images in Design Space. And I thought this travel fund one was cute. So I'm going to use that. So I have that already here added to the canvas. And then I also added a heart because I'm using my Explorer 3 and I have not used that to cut adhesive foil yet. So I'm going to do a test cut. And I think hearts are a great shape for a test cut because they have like the straight line here, you've got the curve, and then you have like the inverted point and then the regular point here. So it's just a great way to check if it's going to be clean on curves and straight lines and points and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to change that I am using an Explorer 3. And I'm going to go ahead and select Make It. So you'll see that it has 2 different colors. It has black for the words and then the gold color. I'm going to use, I have an adhesive foil that is a shiny that I'm going to use for the gold, and then I actually have an adhesive foil matte in a silver that I'm going to use for the black parts here. And then I'm just going to test each one with a heart. So I just made it 1 inch. That's not like gigantic, but it's not tiny either. No smaller than the things that I'm doing here. So we're going to go ahead and select Make It and connect to our machine. So I am using a mat to cut these. We'll go ahead and select Continue. Now, because I am not using an iron-on or anything, I don't have to worry about mirroring. But for now, I'm just going to be cutting the heart while I go ahead and decide on the cut setting that I'm going to use. Now, I'm going to need to test the adhesive foil. So it's saying to check it, but it's also saying it's connected. So I am going to, let's go ahead and jump in here and click Browse. And then let's just type in foil. So we have adhesive foil and adhesive foil matte. So those are both options. And you can see by the C's next to here that they are Cricut. These are for the Cricut adhesive foil and the Cricut adhesive foil matte. So I'm going to test the adhesive foil matte first. So we'll go ahead and select that. Oops, select that there. Go ahead and select Done. And then I'm going to, I'm going to switch this so it's going to make me select it again. I'm going to cut the heart first, obviously. So let's jump back in here. And then we'll go ahead and select the adhesive foil matte. Go ahead and say Done. And now I can jump into my machine, and like I said, I'm going to test both the adhesive foil mat and the adhesive foil. I'm going to start them both on the default pressure and just see how they cut with that heart. Okay, so I'm using a green StandardGrip mat for my adhesive foil, and we are going to test the adhesive foil mat first. So you can see here it says adhesive foil mat. This is the one that we're going to check first with that heart shape. So we'll go ahead and get this open. Okay, now we'll go ahead and press play to cut, and we'll do this quick test cut. Okay, that was super fast. You can see our cut here. Now we'll just see if that, and that looks like it cut great. So the adhesive foil mat setting is working great on my machine. It didn't cut through the backer, but it cut the heart perfectly. Like if you look, I mean, it's a nice, you can see it here and on here. It's a nice clean cut all the way around. So that's great. We've got that one tested. So we'll just go ahead and add that little heart right there. And now this is the adhesive foil, and it's not matte. So you can see that it's super shiny. So we're going to go ahead and open up this and get it put on the mat. I'm just using the same StrongGrip mat. Okay, then I'm just back here in my computer, and I'm just selecting the normal adhesive foil. We're gonna go ahead and select done. And you can see that it says it's ready to load. And I just kept that on the same setting that it was on for just the default. I didn't try to cut it any thicker or anything. Okay, so now we have, it's a little bit harder to see, this shiny little heart. So if I take this, and again, a very nice clean cut. I will say, I feel like the backer on this might be a little bit thicker, but the foil itself, I feel like is a little bit thinner. But you can see it's a really nice clean cut. Oh, I can hold it in my spot. A nice clean cut all the way around. So we've got two great cuts, and then we are all ready to go to be able to move forward with our project. So now, because I cut those hearts out, I'm just gonna show you really quick. I'm gonna jump back here. I'm gonna say, yes, I want to cancel. So I'm just going to take this and bump it over just a tiny bit because we cut out that heart on both of these different materials. So I've got it on that one. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this one, and I'm just going to bump it over just far enough. I'm gonna double check this one. Yeah, because the heart was up in that area. So just far enough that I can cut both of these and not have to worry about it cutting in where that heart was. So now I can go ahead and select continue. And because I moved it there on that screen, I don't have to worry about it moving like it might on the canvas. All right, so now I'm just going to go in, and we are going to select adhesive foil. And I will go ahead and load this mat because this is the adhesive foil one. That's the gold. Okay, so we've got this one cut. Go ahead and unload that off the mat, and we'll load on our adhesive foil mat. Cut out. So we are done cutting. And roll those back up. Go ahead and close this. Grab my protective sheet here. Okay, so now I'm just going to take a pair of scissors, and we're just going to go ahead and trim this. Now we can go ahead and weed off all of our excess here. I can get that without getting the backer at the same time. Like I said, this gold one is kind of thin, so it might be easier just to
want to see if I can kind of show you. Can you, like, see how much, like this one's pretty solid and this one's like thinner. So I just want to show you that this one is it's a thinner adhesive foil. So if you're needing something thicker, I don't know really why you would, but I would definitely use a matte one if you need something a little bit thicker. Now this is also not very, like it's peeling great, but it is not grabbing well. It's like hard to pierce with the weeding tool. So I'm almost having to pierce the back. So where you can, it might be easier just to like fold it a little and just weed with your fingers rather than the weeding tools, because you can see like here and here, it pierced all the way into the backer and it's just not grabbing it. It's like it's poking it, but it's not allowing it to be like kind of scooped up like we do with a normal vinyl. So it just seems to be working a little bit better if I just bend it a little and pop those up and use my fingers. Now, of course, our backer is not nearly as smooth, but that should be okay. All right, so next step, we're gonna go ahead and just trim that off a little bit. I think something got on my scissors there. I'm not cutting very clean there at the end. So we'll trim that up. Trim this up, and then it's going to sit with the airplane and then travel under it, and the fun goes in the rectangle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a piece of transfer tape. So now here is another thing that we're going to test. I remember once upon a time being told that you might want to use StrongGrip transfer tape with adhesive foil. So we're gonna just test this out, and we're gonna see first if StandardGrip transfer tape will pick it up. So I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna lay this down. I'm gonna burnish it really well. We'll burnish it from the back as well. Okay. Oops. You can see so far it is not sticking at all to this. So let's do it a little bit more, and then we'll break out a piece of StrongGrip transfer tape and see if that does better. Nope, it's still not sticking. That stuck a little. Let's see if we can get it to stick. Okay, there we go. Oh, maybe it was sticking. Okay, it seems like it might be a little more work than we want. So we're gonna go ahead and take off the StandardGrip and use some StrongGrip. Okay, so you'll know it's the StrongGrip. So you can see here it says StrongGrip, but the purple grid is the StrongGrip and the gray grid is the StandardGrip. We're just going to test this first. There we go. That did much better on that. And now let's see, did I actually cut this big enough to be able to get... So I want to line this up
so I can just do it all at once.
So you can see that I'm just lining it up on here. And now I'm going to burnish our other piece of adhesive foil onto that same piece of transfer tape. So now when I apply it, oh, it needs a little more burnishing. Okay, so now when I apply it to our little travel fund jar, it's just like I had one piece of like one image, and I've got both of them here on the same piece of transfer tape. So I have this cute little jar that I actually tried to use in last week's video. I wanted to try glass etching on it, and that did not work at all. So I'm just using a lint roller. You can also use an alcohol wipe or rubbing alcohol with a lint-free cloth. Just you want to remove any dust, dirt, any of those types of things. And then I'm going to take, and I'm going to turn this just a little bit so it's straight on for me, but we're just going to lay this out. And I don't know if you can see on this jar, we have like a line here and a line here. So I'm laying, and then kind of the same on these curves here. So I want to lay in the middle there of that. I'm just going to go ahead and paying attention to this bottom line here. We'll just set it down. That actually looks really good. So now I'm going to take it and I'm going to burnish it really well with my scraper tool again. And then here, I don't know if you can tell, but my transfer tape was just a little bit short of this bottom line. So I don't want to rub, I don't want to take a chance of scratching up that gold adhesive foil. So I am just going to run over that part with my finger, and then we'll slowly peel back. And then I always like to start at the corner and just folding it back on itself, pull it back. Just go relatively slow. Look at that. Well, that's kind of hard to see in the, well, there, it's better if I don't put anything behind it. But look at how cute that is. So we used two different adhesive foils. We used the matte and the just normal shiny adhesive foil, and those turned out awesome. Look how good that looks. And it's really fun because this jar, I don't know if you can tell, has like this kind of rainbowy look, and it already has that cute silvery lid. So that looks awesome. You can add some ribbons around it and it would make a great gift.
All right, that's it. We have successfully made this fun travel fund jar. I keep saying fun and fund, and that's kind of gets a little confusing to my mouth, but we created this fun jar. I think that this would be great to give as a gift. It's a great graduation gift. I think it's a great birthday gift. As kids get older, I feel like they always want money, and that can be boring to give, but by adding a little bit of ribbon and a little tag on here, I think that would be a fun way. Add a little bit of money to this or a gift card, and you're all set up. I applied the adhesive foil to this glass jar. I have also made a really cool sign using adhesive foil, and I did that on, it was in the canvas section, and I'll put a link to that post down in the comment section. But it was in the canvas section, but it wasn't your like standard wrapped canvas. It was just almost like a thin board, but it turned out really awesome. That is one of my favorite projects. The Explorer 3 did a wonderful job cutting the adhesive foil on the correct settings. I didn't have to make any adjustments at all. I've also seen people use them on phone cases, on like picture frames, on the glass for frames to add some phrasing and just different things like that. There are a lot of things that you could do with adhesive foil, and I just love that it just gives it that metallic look. It looks really good. It's a really fun, just different look than your normal vinyl, and it is permanent. So if you leave it and let it sit, you can use it even on mugs and stuff if you hand wash them. So I hope that you found this helpful and that you learned something new about adhesive foil. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments. And as always, we would love for you to subscribe if you found this helpful. We'd love for you to join in on our Facebook group. We have a Cricut Facebook group. We'll add a link to that also in the description below. And you can find us on social media at Cricut Inspiration is where we share all of our Cricut projects on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and I think that's all the places. And then Creative Housewives is where you can find a lot of our DIY projects, different home decor, recipes, all that different type of stuff. So follow us along there. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.